Hello, everybody. I am here today to, as promised, give y'all a little bit more information on the whole abusive litigation gang stalking crew that was literally trying to destroy me and my entire life for months on end. Now, even though these people tried to destroy me and my life, even though these people lied about me in court records, I will still say, and I really do mean it, do not contact anyone that I mentioned in this video, please. That is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to report on a matter of public concern and also to clear my good name that these people attempted to drag in the mud in court. So TLDR, if you didn't know this already, is that Bam Margera was in a conservatorship. I found out about it. When I looked into it, I found out that somebody had died in the care of this woman who was acting as Bam's conservator. Bam hadn't been heard from in a long time, months and months, and I started looking into the case. Come to find out, this woman, the conservator, Bam's guardian conservator, same thing. This woman had actually not told the truth or not delivered to the public a true and accurate statement on how the woman died in her care. So I started reporting on it. Not only did I start reporting on it, but I also started to just provide my own opinion and commentary on the situation. Well, I guess apparently liars don't like whenever you tell people that they lied. And so she sued me in court. It didn't go the way that she wanted. And so she went across the country and sued me in another court. Also, at the same time, she had another one of my ops, Brian Scott Kuchar, file a fraudulent full of lies restraining order request in Georgia. He also at the same time started a business using my name. So it was kind of an ambush. And we've seen this before. I've seen it done to Bam. I've seen it done to Brittany. So it does happen. Unfortunately for these people, they did miscalculate. And as a result, I have continuously and consistently won and defeated them in court every single time. And one is still ongoing. So, and honestly, y'all, one of the reasons I wanted to make this video too is because I am one of the rare few people who actually was able to get evidence, find the evidence, and kind of catch these people in the act. And I'm going to show you how the fallout has also worked, because since I posted the video that I posted the last one I posted about this incident, which I think is the one that says sanctioned on the thumbnail. But since I posted that 3 days ago, two of the people who I busted in this operation have emailed me. And I am going to get into some of those emails, like a little bit of them, but I think I'm going to make separate videos for those entire emails just so I can debunk all of them. Because what's going on now is, now that I have busted these people in the act, they're scrambling. They don't know what to do, because nobody really expected me to do that, which honestly was stupid, because I've been telling y'all, if you're doing it, I'm going to find it out. If you're doing it, I'm going to find it out. And especially if you're doing it to hurt me, I have to do it for self-preservation. I have to find it out. So you're seeing now these people scramble because they did not expect that I was going to find out who and what and where and how, but I sure did. And absolutely, there's some stuff I'm sure I still don't know, but I have enough pieced together to where I can come to y'all and show you compelling and convincing. In my opinion, you tell me, you can let me know if it's compelling and convincing, but in my opinion, it is evidence. And if you've been following my videos on this channel for the last, I don't know, few weeks, you do know that I also have been talking a lot about these lawsuits that were filed against Beyonce and her husband Jay-Z and P. Diddy, and few against Rick Ross and all of that, where there's like these really weird allegations that kind of people don't really believe. There's judges that are dismissing these cases because it just seems too far-fetched and it doesn't seem credible. Well, I can understand why the judges might think that, but as you will see as we go through today's declaration of Jamie Gilmour, the one with the guinea pigs, the one who Lima called in the middle of the live stream, as you will see, as we begin to go through some of the things that these people tried to do to me, attempted to do to me, and in some cases successfully did do to me, you will notice some patterns. And if you don't, I'm going to point them out. Between the allegations that were being made that were so not credible, by these people who were saying that Beyonce was stalking them, or Beyonce was paying this victim's employer to like fire her or whatever, right? Like we'll get into all that. So I thought what we would do, and I think the most important for me to clear my name and my reputation that these people lied about under penalty of perjury, today's episode is going to be primarily focusing on this person, Jamie Gilmour, Gilmour, not More. And this person is one that sent me an email recently. Now, this person had no problems signing, apparently, their name to this declaration. This person had no problem making several videos that were hours long about me. This person had no problem trying to dox me, cyber bully me, and cyber harass me. But now that the scheme and the plan didn't work to restrain me, to restrain my speech, now all of a sudden some stories are getting switched up. This person is, well, we'll get to it at the end. So, what I want to do is first start with this person's actual declaration. I want to start with the actual filing that was filed in court. Then I want to show y'all some fact checks that I have done and, with some receipts and things. And we'll just do a little compare and contrast between reality and the stuff that's written in this statement. Okay. So this was filed on January 30th, 2024. So it was filed pretty much almost exactly 5 months ago today. Filed. This is like a court filed document. So this is a public record. Anyone can go and get it. Anyone can go sign into the lacourt.org or .com or whatever and get this document. So public filing, and it was filed in, as you can see, my case against me. This was a declaration that was meant to support Lima Mora Jevremovic Omar Abdullah Muhammad or whatever her last name is today. And it was meant to help this girl, Bam Margera's former guardian, get a restraining order against me. Okay, this is her second attempt at a restraining order against me just in the state of California alone. And I guess if you consider Brian Kuchar's restraining order, this is her third attempt to get a restraining order at all somehow against me. So it says a declaration of Jamie Gilmour in support of, petitioner, so Lima's request for a civil harassment restraining order. And note, who filed this document for Jamie on behalf of Jamie. Who's the lawyer here? It's Lima's lawyer. So Jamie doesn't have her own lawyer. Jamie didn't file this pro se. She didn't file this on her own accord. It looks like Benjamin Kanani, who is, from what I understand, it appears that he's been sanctioned. I mean, I need to get a little clarification. I know for sure Lima has been, and she's responsible for the $10,000 sanction fee, but her lawyer, it appears, has also been sanctioned. So this man's been sanctioned. So in my opinion, disgraced. And he's the one filing these declarations. Now, we will get into the other declaration that was filed, Brennan Bell, and also there was an investor that filed a declaration and Brian Kuchar's, but I wanted to start with Jamie Gilmour with the M-O-U-R. Okay. So it says, I, Jamie Gilmour, hereby declare I'm not a party to the above referenced matter. I'm not represented by legal counsel. Again, was filed by Lima's lawyer, but she's saying, this isn't my lawyer. He's for some reason just filing this. Okay. She says, I am a former supporter and follower of Miss Brittany Corville. That's me. BJ is short for Brittany Jereme. I submit this declaration to inform the court of my association with me and the disconcerting activities linked to that surprise army. A collection of online followers who regularly follow respondent. The facts contained within this declaration are based upon my personal knowledge and belief. If called to testify upon the matters contained herein, I would be competent to testify to the truth of the following. Okay, so this person is saying, I'm a former follower of BJ. I'm a member of that surprise army, which, if you will recall, and I'm going to get into the whole debunk of all this. I wrote a whole thing up at 17 pages long. We might be here for a while, but I just want to kind of read through this first so that you can get a lay of the land of what's going on. But just to remind you, I did not start that surprise army. I was never a member of that surprise army. I pretty much always told y'all that I believe that it was an operation to sow discord. It's literally the name of the app. It was on Discord. So again, this whole That Surprise Army thing was just something that literally just popped up out of literally nowhere after Lima's first New Jersey lawsuit had been dismissed without prejudice. Okay. So this whole That Surprise Army thing was a set up. Yes, it was. It was meant to make y'all look bad, me look bad, us look bad, the free BAM movement look bad, and also to make Lima look like some poor victim that was being targeted and doxxed and harassed, which I don't believe she was. But if she was, I don't condone that. I don't support that. And I'm certainly not responsible for it. Okay. So again, I want to address all these things line by line. But let's just get through. I think it's only 2 pages of this. So let's see what else Jamie had to say after saying, I used to follow BJ. I became involved in that surprise army and I could testify to these statements in court. Okay, good, great. So interestingly, right off the bat, we get some ambiguous non-statements. I have been one of respondents' followers since July of 2002. When's that? What's 202? Because it makes a real big difference if you've been following me since July 2022 versus if you've been following me only since July 2023. Because remember, at this point, this was only 6 months after July 2023, and July would have only been 1 month before that first New Jersey case was dismissed. Versus if she had been following me as of July 2022, then she started following me pretty early on in the free band movement because I only started covering it in February 2022. So I believe this is intentional. I believe that this was left like this on purpose. I don't think it's an accidental typo. I think it is meant to appear as if it is an accidental typo to confuse the judge and to make him have to fill in the blanks. That's what I believe, because July 202 is not a real year. So moving on. She says one of her followers naively believing her portrayal of herself as an attorney and investigative journalist exposing corruption and crimes allegedly committed by petitioner, particularly in connection to the serious accusation of trafficking involving Lima's sister, Dahlia. Okay, again, I'm going to get into addressing all of this and I'm going to debunk it. I'm going to go line by paragraph by paragraph. But let's just read through and see what she actually said. This is a publicly filed document by Jamie Gilmour, Gilmour, in court, in a court of law. Okay. Respondent, that's me, manipulated not only me, but her entire audience by misrepresenting herself as an independent journalist on a mission. I even became a victim of one of respondents' fraudulent schemes. Okay, so I am allegedly doing fraudulent schemes that y'all are reading it yourself, right? I mean, look, this bitch says she became a victim. She became a victim. The irony. They tell on themselves because they just blame you of doing what they actually are doing. So they will tell on themselves. She claims she became a victim of one of my fraudulent schemes. Okay, great. Donating $2,976 from my disability checks based on her fabricated claims to her fan base and deceptive requests for money through her GoFundMe campaign. Okay. So she says she became a victim of one of my fraudulent schemes, donating almost $3,000 to my GoFundMe based on my allegedly fabricated claims. She's literally saying she's misappropriating her disability funds for an improper purpose, all the while blaming me of running some type of fraudulent scheme. When she's using your taxpayer dollar, my taxpayer dollar, to donate to a YouTuber's GoFundMe, $3,000. She'd previously said that she only got $12,000 a year in disability, and she gave me $3,000 of it. But I'm the one running a fraudulent scheme. Oh, okay. She said attached are just some of my receipts from my donations. And I'm glad she attached those because it does kind of reveal a good little piece of the timeline. Yes, it does. Miss Corville, that's me, was fully aware I was on disability and used our shared experiences of being on disability herself to foster a connection. That is not a true statement. I've never been on disability. I am going to address all this, but I just want to be very clear. I've never been on disability. I've never, ever used that fact because it's not a fact to foster anything with anyone. So that's very weird. But again, this is another just bold-faced, unmitigated lie. It is a false statement. That's just not true. It's just not true. It's a lie. That's a lie. Literally a lie. She says, unfortunately, I now see this connection was exploited to manipulate me into contributing to her cause, which I believed was in the pursuit of justice for alleged crimes. Again, I've never alleged that Lima committed a crime. I don't know. I mean, as you can see, I put innocent until proven guilty, so I really don't know why this lie is in here. Jamie goes on to say, or rather I should say Kanani, I don't know if Jamie wrote this or Kanani wrote this, but based on how she speaks, I don't imagine that she wrote this. I genuinely thought Lima was a scam artist, murderer, and involved in sex trafficking. As respondent, repeatedly asserted that her sister was missing and needed help. I even went so far as to leave aggressive comments on petitioner's public social media page that she uses for work, accusing her of these things. So perfectly written, like with all the elements, exactly like a lawyer would need it written. But again, let's get through it. A copy of my social media post is attached as Exhibit B. While seeking monetary donations from her followers, respondent, that's me, actively presented herself as a passionate advocate for freedom of speech and justice for victims, rallying support for her legal defense against Lima because she was, quote, working to expose corruption and teach the people about our rights. See a screenshot as Exhibit C. I was surprised to see that in her pending civil New Jersey lawsuit in this matter, she suddenly claims the role of a mere entertainer who creates humorous videos that were not intended to be taken seriously. The stark contradiction between respondents' public appeal for donations from her followers, in which she has raised over $70,000 so far. Again, another lie. She has 3 different funds for legal fees. That's just false. It's just a lie. It's just not true. It's just not true. It's lies. It's not true. It's not true. And the position she takes in her legal defense raises concerns about her deceptive practices and misrepresentations to raise money. Okay, so it didn't work the first several times that Lima tried to sue me, tried to get me in court. And so now they have taken to just continuing to pile on more lies. Exhibit A. I also have personal knowledge that respondent, which is me, was working directly with many third parties, including Bam Margera and another YouTuber called Down the Rabbit Hole News, to circumvent the temporary restraining order when it was in effect and make videos about petitioner and her family. This is not true. This is not true. I did not work directly with Bam Margera or Rabbit from Down the Rabbit Hole News to circumvent the temporary restraining order. I followed it, even though I believe it was unlawful. And I know for sure, for a fact, and a court has confirmed, it was unconstitutional. So I did not do that. And also, even if I did do that, I've never spoken to this Jamie Gilmour person in my life. So I don't know how she would have personal knowledge of that. During that time, they uploaded a total of more than 50 combined videos and posts to continue the harassment campaign against petitioner and her family, despite the TRO demanding to cease all social media posting about the protected parties. I personally witnessed Corville herself violate the temporary restraining order 18 times during this period. We're going to get to this, don't you worry. I've also witnessed respondent enlist her followers in her campaign against petitioner. So she's saying she witnessed me enlist my followers in my whatever the campaign is against Lima. That's what she's saying. She encouraged her audience to be investigative journalists and told us what to say. She told us to do our research. That is true. I did tell people to research. On how to obtain documents through FOIA requests. Yes, I did. And I actually do encourage y'all all to do that because it is your right to do it. And there's nothing wrong with it, despite what these deranged sociopathic clowns might be trying to say. And shared private documents under the guise to help spread the word. I have never done that. That's a false statement. She actively directed her audience, including me, to engage in her not true. Of Lima and her family. This included sharing her family's sensitive private records and information, creating a hostile environment for the victims, and reaching out to them directly. Copies of the private information posted as a result is attached as Exhibit D. Respondent also encouraged the relentless sharing and reposting of her content with the intent to overwhelm petitioner and her family's privacy, making it nearly impossible for them to remove everything, including all of their sensitive medical and private data, such as addresses and phone numbers from the internet. So not true. Not true at all, but something that Lima actually did absolutely do to me. Again, they blame me for doing the things they were actually doing, and thank God now I have the proof and I'm going to be showing it all to y'all. Yes, I am. She says, upon my decision to withdraw from these activities, I subsequently became a target for and doxing by respondent and her followers myself. Not true. Again, y'all have a 17-page written Word document responding point by point to every single one of these things, but I want to just put it all out there what these people really tried to do to me. Because now this psychopath who lied about me in this court document, trying to not only trying to get a little civil harassment restraining order, she's literally accusing me of criminal conduct, of crimes, saying she has knowledge that I committed crime. She said this in a court record. It's a public document. Now it says this about me forever. And now this sociopathic lunatic wants my mercy. Asked me in an email, which we will read some of in part on this video today. She asked me in an email if I could refrain from using her last name. When I'm talking about the petition, just don't say her last name. Gilmour, Gilmour. She doesn't want me to say her last name, even though she had no problem putting that last name right here on the front of this lies full of lies bullshit. She didn't have no problem with my last name being used, did she? No, she didn't. So I have no problem using hers. This is a public record. You put your name on this bullshit. So you get to be the one that gets to be known as putting your name on it. If it wasn't true, if it wasn't real, you need to go and correct the record with the court and ask them to strike this from the record. That's what needs to happen. Kanani, who's been sanctioned already once, maybe he could do it. Upon my decision to withdraw from these activities, I subsequently became a target for harassment and doxing by respondent. Me, she's saying that she became a target for stalking and harassment by me. I directly stalked her. This isn't a court filing, y'all. I've never spoken to this lady. I've never once directed a single person to go speak to this lady. Never. Never. I don't want to speak to this lady. I actually don't like to be around sociopathic lying clowns. So I don't talk to her, never talk to her, never talked to her, never spoke to her. But here she is saying that I stalked her, asked her, and that she was my target. It's the first sentence in here. I was one of her supporters, but then once I read the New Jersey filings that BJ had made over a year before that, which were available at the time that I made the donations, then all of a sudden I decided I was going to turn against her so badly that I was going to write my first and last name on a declaration and try and get her rights taken away. All because what? Because this idiot, even if we take her word for it, didn't bother to read what my actual defenses were in my lawsuit before donating to the legal fund. Like, if you really need to know before donating to the legal fund what my positions are, all the documents are public. Go read them. They're public. I mean, also, I don't believe her reason. I think all of this is lies. I think most of this is lies. I think this was a setup to try and make it look like I am this deranged criminal, and I'm frankly not. Now, also note, this person is admitting to seemingly criminal behaviors. I left aggressive comments. The other one's going to admit to going and tracking down Lima's home and stuff. And I'm like, wait a second. You have these deranged lunatics admitting that they did this stuff. And me telling you and giving you evidence that I did not tell them to do this stuff. And instead of going after these lunatics, you're going after me, even though I didn't tell them to do it. And they're admitting here that they are the ones who did it. Anyway, we're almost done with this. I think I have another page or maybe two. Despite my limited income, I had generously supported respondent and her cause, believing she was a lawyer and a journalist fighting for victims and justice. The money I donated was everything I had, and the only reason I donated it was to free petitioner's sister, Dahlia, because I thought she was being bleep tracked and kept hostage by Lima, based on my reporting. Reports she presented as facts, not conjecture or entertainment. Again, this is obviously written by a lawyer. This is obviously not written by that sociopath lunatic that's just sitting there petting a gerbil all day or whatever. Like, this is a lawyer wrote this. She said I called the numbers she provided and participated in extreme doxing, a crime. She's admitting to a crime in a legal filing. I participated in extreme doxing as well. And the practice of making prank or unsubstantiated calls to emergency services in an attempt to dispatch a large number of armed officers to a particular address of both petitioner and her family. So she's saying I doxed and assaulted Lima and her family, which I've always told people not to do. That's a crime. I would never, ever encourage someone to do that. And she doesn't even say it. Look, she doesn't even say because of BJ, I swatted. She's just admitting it. So why didn't Lima try to get a restraining order against this person? Why didn't Benjamin Kanani, instead of filing this declaration in support of getting a restraining order against me, why didn't he turn around and say, oh, wait, client, Lima, I think I might have figured out where all this harassment is coming from. It's not BJ. BJ didn't tell anybody to do that. Actually, this Jamie Gilmour person, she said she participated in extreme doxing and swatting of your family. She's admitting to swatting your family. So let's go after her for the restraining order. Why didn't her lawyer do that? I reported a petitioner and her mom to the police and hotlines. Good, I'm glad. Everyone should, because there are allegations out there that don't seem to have been investigated. As directed by respondent, and tried reporting her elsewhere, calling various phone numbers, searching for her location, and generally did everything respondent instructed us to do. Again, what's wrong with this? You called a lot of, you tried reporting. Yeah, that's what hotlines are for. So that's fine. No problem with that. And I did instruct y'all to do that. And I do think that you still should to this day, because clearly there's a whole lot going on behind the scenes that they don't want me talking about. This Dahlia, this trafficking, clearly, because this is just lies. So they're lying about me because I told y'all to report this activity. The last such action as a part of this was to donate all of my savings to help because it was so horrific. However, after I was faced with relentless harassment from her fan base as a result, I reached out to BJ to request her intervention or legal assistance, which I don't provide legal assistance because I've told y'all many times I'm not licensed to practice law. I gave up my license. Why? Because I knew lunatics like Benjamin Kanani, Esquire for now, and Jamie Gilmour and Lima Jevremovic and all of these sociopathic lunatic clowns would at some point eventually attempt to take away my legal license. So instead of that, I said, y'all take this back. I don't want it. Crusty. I don't want this crusty license. Take it. Bye. Leave me alone with it. So for that reason, I do not have a license to practice law. I tell y'all all the time, I think in every video, there's a banner down there that says this is not legal advice, So again, just trying to make it look like I'm doing stuff I'm not, trying to make me look bad, trying to defame me, trying to destroy my reputation. And now that it hasn't worked, they're all in the bed. And it's good they should because I have a lot of evidence and I'm going to be telling everybody what y'all tried to do to me. Yes, I am. Gilmour. Yes, I am. Didn't have no problem filing this. But has a problem with me now making videos about it. Didn't have no problem signing her damn name to this. Didn't have no problem shutting the fuck up, keeping her mouth quiet about no. As soon as she found out this wasn't what she wrote, didn't make a video. No, none of that. She says, despite clearly detailing the harassment I was enduring, she took no action and responded dismissively by saying, quote, I don't know what you're talking about, but I hope you get the support you need. Again, we'll get into that when we get into the exhibits. Since the TRO was resolved in late November, so this is like a month after the temporary restraining order was dismissed in November, BJ and her followers mistakenly believe that she now has a blank check to say and do as she wishes, regardless of the harm it may cause. No, I don't. And if I did think that, I don't know how in the Jamie Gilmour would know it. Gilmour. Alarmingly, respondent has now even openly vowed to intensify her unethical and dangerous investigative efforts of petitioner and her family. I'm deeply concerned for my own safety and well-being. I am also deeply concerned for this person's safety and well-being, but it's perhaps because they're like literally demon possessed. It had nothing to do with me. Because I know for a fact none of my followers and none of my subscribers went over there to harass her. And if they did, I don't condone it. I don't support it. So she says, I firmly believe that a restraining order is not only warranted, but crucial. She says, I think a restraining order is crucial to deterring her online followers from carrying out her dangerous and directives, which they misguidedly believe are justified. How is a restraining order against me going to stop anybody else who's not me, whether they're my follower or not, from doing something to Lima? If somebody's stalking her, don't you think that she should get a restraining order against the person stalking her? I'm just wondering. They're stupid. They're idiots. And I've had, and for 4 months, I had to sit idly by and say nothing about her because she got another restraining order before this one full of lies. She says, I provide this declaration to the court to convey my experiences with respondent and that surprise army freely and voluntarily. Look, freely and voluntarily. I convey these experiences freely and voluntarily. Because I believe her actions are dangerous and harassing, and I fear they will only escalate without a judge infringing upon my rights. Can y'all believe this even? Like seriously, for 5 seconds, put yourself in my shoes. All this because I'm requesting public records and telling y'all what they say and telling y'all what my opinion is and speculating and exercising my First Amendment right to free speech. All this because of that. I declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct. Under penalty of perjury. Jamie Gilmour, Gilmour, with her signature right there. Okay, so now what I think we should do is go through and debunk a lot of this sociopath just said in here. And we're going to rely heavily on a video that Jamie posted to her YouTube channel. Now, Today, that YouTube channel has a different name. She's deleted a lot of the videos as she is wont to do. And honestly, I have a whole nother separate theory about what's actually going on here, like the bigger picture, like taking it one step above even more. And it does have to do with the engineering of a social situation so that they can document it for a reality show or some type of documentary. I have told the documentary people that I don't want anything to do with them. They are not permitted. They do not have my permission or my consent to use any of my content. So there's all that. But this Jamie Gilmour person was actually involved in like a LARP, like a, what are those things called? Like a alternate reality game, ARG.
Alternate reality game. ARGs are games played out online, taking in elements of reality for recruiting players. Players become detectives, and they must find clues to make the game move forward, perhaps hidden on a website, or clues can be found offline. They must inform other players. When all the clues are found, ARG players are rewarded.
She was involved in a major, scandalous ARG that tricked the public into thinking that someone was being experimented on. And yes, this was years ago. I'm gonna do a whole video on it, but it does have to do with the Lonely Girl 16. If you know about Lonely Girl 16 lore, Jamie Gilmour, Gilmour, was one of the non-canon new Lonely Girls. Okay. So she was involved in ARG. So I think that these people may be being like taken advantage of because they have a certain propensity for playing pretend or something. But that's honestly for a whole nother day. Let's just address the lies in this declaration because I need to clear my name because these have been said under penalty of perjury, things that are not true. So first of all, and what I'm reading from is something that I wrote just in the case that the judge was going to like maybe not have any sense and make me have to actually respond to these nonsensical allegations. I had kind of started a draft notes page of fact checks to her declaration. Okay. So I'm going to be kind of using that as the outline for the rest of the video. And I'm a little concerned about how long it might be, but let's just do it because I had to go through this by myself. So now I can go through at least a tiny portion of some of this stuff that I had to deal with. So I just did a little bit of a procedural background. I wonder if I honestly probably can just pull this up. Let me just pull it up. Y'all can read along with me. This is just like a draft. This isn't really meant to be filed in court or anything. It's just kind of like notes, a draft. Again, this is just notes, but I was going to be reading from it anyway, so I might as well just let y'all see it too. Okay, so this was just for, notes. Procedural background. In August 2022, Lima filed her first failed lawsuit against me in New Jersey federal court, which was dismissed in August 2023, a year later. That same month, August 31st, 2023, Lima petitioned a California court for a temporary restraining order. 3 months later, November, in a hearing on the matter, the judge struck the petition, dismissing Lima's claims and finding that her attempt to get the temporary restraining order or a permanent restraining order was a SLAPP suit under California's anti-SLAPP statute. A month later after that, Judge Weinberger's order was entered, which provided for the award of mandatory attorney's fees in the amount of $87.4 thousand. So then I get into the declaration of Jamie Gilmour. This, what I have up right now, is 19 pages long. Just so that you are aware, this is one declaration in one of the restraining order requests. Each restraining order request of Lima's, each one of Lima's restraining order requests had at least 3 declarations, and this one had, I think, around 6. So this is how much work I had to put into one declaration in one restraining order. And it never even got listened to, discussed, or heard by the court. That's how much work I've been doing over here. Okay. That is how much time I've had to take away from my actual work to deal with these lies. Okay. So what we're about to go through is one draft of one declaration's responses and fact checks. And this is how I had to go through everything in these lawsuits to fact check everything and find the receipts, which I do have. But this was supposed to ruin me. This was supposed to ruin me. It didn't. I am pissed about it though, and I'm going to tell everybody what they try to do to me. So let's go ahead without further ado. First, let's just start with the general background. Some of this I've already said a little bit, but we're going to read through the notes. To my recollection, I have sent this person one single email in response to a nonsensical demand for a refund of her donations to my legal fund. All of Jamie Gilmour's donations were made after the New Jersey action was dismissed. And after the now dismissed California restraining order was in place. So to put it another way, this girl's going, "Oh, Your Honor, she needs a restraining order because I was one of her supporters. And then I realized she was unhinged and she was a fraud. So you need to put the restraining order in because people are stalking and people are harassing." Okay, so that girl who said she used to be my supporter, she did not make a single donation to me or to my legal fund until after I wasn't even able to speak about Lima, her sisters, or her husband online. She was one of my supporters, but she didn't make even so much as the first donation to my legal campaign until after I couldn't speak about Dahlia, Dia, Lima, and Ivan anymore. Until after Lima's first attempt at a lawsuit was dismissed, then all of a sudden, I can't talk about Lima and her other lawsuits dismissed. This random person who's now filing declarations against me shows up and she's my biggest supporter. Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. That timing. It's just immaculate. I said, and this is just notes, right? It's just my notes. Outside of that one email response, I've never spoken to this person on the phone or in person. I've never made any attempts to call her or befriend her. I've actually never seen her in person, and she provides the court with absolutely no evidence that I have. On the contrary, I have made specific efforts not to speak to her or have any contact at all with her, going so far as to block her email address and her phone number. But she has repeatedly attempted to make contact with me anyway. As recently as last month, and this is, I guess I was drafting this up in April, as recently as last month, March 26th, 2024, Gilmour somehow procured my personal cell phone number and called me from a number unfamiliar to me having a area code. I did not answer this call from this unfamiliar number, so Gilmour, Gilmour, left a voice message. In the voice message, she astonishingly seems to be asking me for my assistance or advice on whether she should continue cooperating with a documentary film company media. And then I said, Media has been working with Petitioner to develop a documentary series about her guardianship over celebrity Bam Margera since at least June 2023. So in this voicemail, which maybe I could play it, let me see if I still have it. Gilmour, astonishingly, seems to be asking me for my assistance or advice on whether she should continue cooperating with the media documentary. A transcript of this voicemail is shown in the screenshot below. Again, this is just my notes. I didn't file this or anything like that. I was just getting it prepared where it was like if I was going to have to file something in court. This took me 2 days. I mean, this took 2 full work days, just this one. And it, like I said, never saw the light of day. So we're on page 1 of 19. Okay, let me see if I can find that voicemail and I will play it for y'all. March 26th. And I was in India minding my own business. Oh yeah, I still have it. Okay, here we go.
Hi, BJ. This is Jamie. I need to speak with somebody. The media wants to do an interview with me, and because I wanted to meet Dahlia, they wanted to do a solo interview. So now I don't want to be a part of it at all because I wanted to know if Dahlia was alive. I need to know. I mean, if can call me, maybe, I don't know. That's. I need to. I forgot what I was gonna say. And so, if my suspicions are correct, I'm
This is the woman that says, I stalked her. Okay.
dropping out of this whole case.
What she said?
Dahlia is first in my mind. Anyway, if you
Well, let me go back. Okay, whatever.
can have call me or something, if you don't trust me, that's fine. I understand. Thank you if you get this message. Bye.
This is like 3 months after she filed that declaration. What? I don't know why she's saying if I got, I don't even know what she's talking about. If I could have somebody call her, what is she talking about? She wants to do the documentary. She wants to know if Dahlia is alive. Girl, I wish I knew. Could somebody please tell me what in the hell what is this clown show? Can you even imagine, like, put yourself in the twilight zone of my existence for 5 seconds? Like, First of all, this crazy person who you've never spoken to starts sending you these weird emails demanding stuff of you, and you're like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, you get ambushed by these people. Also, these same people are the ones I told you on the video already, and we're going to get into it. This person was also making content. She had a YouTube channel that had at one point 25.5 thousand subscribers, and she was talking about me on it. And then after that, what is she doing? Calling me, asking me for advice, having somebody call her who I don't even talk to. It's very confusing. Okay, anyway, back to my notes. I say, and again, y'all, this is just notes. It wasn't filed in court. It's just like, trying to address it as it goes, like trying to say the things that I think would be important for the judge to know. I said, I have no idea how Gilmour, Gilmour, got my number, why she called me at all, and why she would call me for help or advice, specifically after she had filed the declaration in this present case. This case we're talking about right now, the California restraining order attempt number 2. I said, when I didn't succumb to her repeated demands for my attention, she went so far as to making claims that Lima had apparently threatened her and forced her to sign her declaration under duress. So she's talking about duress and being threatened. Lima failed to disclose to the court in her filings that Jamie Gilmour is a prolific and successful content creator on YouTube who made numerous videos about and concerning me, specifically by name. And then, of course, I did include a link, but this link now today is gone. So just to show y'all, I mean, when you click on that link, this is what shows up now. This video isn't available anymore, but I have it downloaded and we're going to definitely be referencing it shortly. So I said Lima failed to disclose to the court in her filings that Jamie Gilmour is a prolific and successful content creator on YouTube who made numerous videos about and concerning me, specifically by name. You might never know it though, because after Gilmour filed her declaration in this case, she abruptly deleted her successful YouTube channel, taking all of its videos and more than 25,000 subscribers with it. In many of her now deleted videos, Gilmour discussed me specifically by name, and her opinion of me was often critical, which is allowed. For the record, you might have noticed there's other people who have made videos about me on the internet, and they're critical, and I have never said anything about it. And a lot of them are also lying in their videos, but they're not saying it in a court, okay? Like, this is a different situation. Gilmour deleted the video, original link here, but it can still be partially accessed on an archived link here. I downloaded a copy of this video before Gilmour deleted it, which video I can share with the court. The screenshot below, taken before Gilmour deleted the video, shows a subscriber count of 25.5 thousand and shows Gilmour's fellow declarant, Brennan Emerald Sealer Bell. I don't know if it's Sealer or Bell, so I'm going to say both. And we have a whole nother video, a whole separate video, because she also wrote a declaration that I need to debunk and clear my good name in. So in my notes, and this is what I'm trying to show y'all here. I'm so glad I did these notes. Otherwise, I'd have to be doing this by memory. So the screenshot below was taken before Jamie deleted the video and the channel. And as you can see, it has a subscriber count of 25.5 thousand. And it shows that Gilmour's fellow declarant, Brennan Emerald Bell, aka Sealer or whatever, was present in the live chat during this November 29th video stream. Okay, so this was the video. And in this video, not going to bury the lead, Lima calls this girl, Jamie, on the phone. And Jamie picks it up and it's on speaker and you can hear it. So this video where Lima calls Jamie on the phone and Jamie picks up and you can hear it, it was live streamed 2 days after the first restraining order was dismissed in California. November 27th, the restraining order is dismissed and Lima is going to have to pay my attorney's fees, at least some of them. We don't know how much yet. That won't get decided until February. But 2 days after the hearing where the judge said, yeah, no, that restraining order is dismissed, never should have been granted. It's a SLAPP suit. It's a strategic litigation against public participation. This live stream happened 2 days after that. And Lima calls up Jamie. So it's clear indication they're working together. Look all over here on the side. Brennan Emerald. I'm a huge supporter. You know what to do. Click on the link. Sometimes. She's looking for Seafowls, the carney, who we'll get into. I'm just reading the side chat here. Feral Chinchilla. Maybe he's jet lagged from all his travels. They speak in these weird code words too. Egypt means something. It's like, I don't know. I think they were trying to appear to be some type of cult, but I never was in it. These people freaked me out from pretty much the beginning. Then Michelle B, another one like Jamie's Animals that was very friendly to me at first and then like love bombed and then immediately kind of within a short period of time switched on me. Who else is in the chat? Okay, chilling with Seafowls. So see this CFOWLS? He'll become an important player too. It was a little bit of a clown ring of sorts, and he was one of them. Good morning, everyone. What a good time to wake up. Congratulations. Jamie, turns out when you're a genuine good soul, people relate and want to watch. And I guess he's saying congratulations because she had recently hit like a subscriber milestone. It's dark in the pyramids. I sleep in late. I mean, I don't know. I guess he don't want to say where he lives, probably because they know that they're ops, but whatever. Who knows? Okay. So that's that video, right? And you can see the description box. Look, Jamie's animals. She's got this dog, 25,000 subscribers, 17 likes, vocal exercises. I imagine many were silenced. I hope it's not the case. Imagine it is. I still don't stand with BJ, so move along if you call yourself a crew. No clue what that means. No clue what she's talking about. It's like ramblings of lunacy. Gilmour mentioned me specifically in this live stream itself, as well as in the description box. I still don't stand with BJ. Now, in this November 29th, 2023 live stream, Gilmour, Gilmour, also admits to talking about me in previous videos that she had made about me. A couple minutes into the stream, she explains to her live audience that she has a reason for wearing these broken, duct taped together headphones. And it was so she could, quote, hear a script being, quote, read to her through the headphones because people are speaking.
Yeah, the headphones are on so I can hear a script through the headphones because people are speaking.
I will refrain from speculation on who was reading the script to her and what their reasons might have been for doing so. I won't speculate on who it was reading to her and what their reasons for reading to her through those headphones might have been, what the script was. So she's talking about wearing these for a reason, and the reason is,
yeah, the headphones are on so I can hear a script through the headphones because people are speaking.
People are reading a script to her. In the same video, Gilmour goes on to state that she is a huge supporter of everyone who is anti-BJ, which is me.
I'm a huge supporter of everyone who's anti-BJ. Everyone. They're talking to me through the... Just want to say that. Just go ahead and type what it is they're saying because I want to know what I'm hearing. Where's my friend Seafowl? The Carney. I'm not gonna be able to be spoken to right now. Just checking the background, making sure there's no poetry. Oh, my hair. Wait. So I opened up a big thing of chicken and poured it in a bowl and... Did you know? Well, I'll tell you when I get back.
Later in the same video, she notified her live audience that they're talking to me through the headphones again and pauses for several seconds as she listens to the previously referenced script readers. After this announcement and belabored pause, Gilmour becomes visibly flustered and audibly breathless as she begins frantically patting around her couch cushions to locate her missing phone.
You know what that means. And they're talking to me through the... Just want to say that. Just go ahead and type what it is they're saying because I want to know what I'm hearing. Where's my friend Seafowl? He's probably asleep.
She verbally requests that someone in the live audience just, quote, go ahead and type what it is they're saying because I want to know what it is I'm hearing. Where's my friend Seafowls? Where's he? He's probably asleep. So Seafowls, the Carney, is another online personality who dresses like a carnival character and makes content of the same ilk as Gilmour, Gilmour. He is or was in a domestic or romantic partnership with another declarant in the case, Brennan Emerald CLR Bell. And Seafowls and Brennan were both participants that night in Jamie Gilmour's chat. They will both be discussed in more detail later in the declaration, but Brennan was present in the November 29th live stream audience as well. There were between 6 and 10 audience members in that live chat. As far as independent names, it could have been one person with 5 names, I don't know. But it was like 6 to 10 different people in the chat.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
You were so sweet for that
Aw.
So, two people that were present in that chat were Seafowls, the Carney, and Brennan Emerald CLR Bell. They were in the chat. So, these people were all together in the chat. And Brennan would actually also end up filing a declaration, which we'll get to in a different video. Other people participating in the chat were Michelle B., Billy Goat 98, Brennan Emerald, and the Feral Chinchilla, to name a few. Okay. Approximately 40 minutes into the live stream, Gilmour apologetically removes the duct tape together headphones and shrugs, looking into the camera, stating, "I'm not going to be able to be spoken to right now," before walking off camera to retrieve two identical guinea pigs. She would later return the headphones to her head, stating, "I can't hear y'all speaking to me, so I have to have my headphones on so I can hear you talk. I can't hear anything. Is that good or bad?" And finally, at the very end of the live stream, Gilmour picks up an incoming call from Petitioner herself. Gilmour's phone is on speaker, and Petitioner's voice is audible, loud, and clear. Gilmour quickly waves goodbye to the live audience and rushes to abruptly end the live stream, and her mouth is still moving like she's talking on the phone. And this didn't happen before Lima got in a few very audible, very clear, very distinctive words. "Hey, you are so sweet for that last message." Gilmour replies, "Aw," and frantically darts her eyes around the room while shrugging to the camera. Look at that face. Seconds before Gilmour mutes the live stream, Lima tells Gilmour, Gilmour, "Thank you so much. That means so much to me. You have no idea."
You were so sweet for that last message.
Aw.
Oh my gosh, that means so much to me. You have no idea.
Jamie Gilmour then successfully mutes the live stream, but speaks a little bit longer with Lima on the phone before the feed abruptly cuts to black. Okay. So that's the background. That's the general background. Okay. So now this is the takedown of the actual claims in the declaration. "I have no association with this person, Jamie Gilmour, as she falsely asserts in her filing. I have never met this person. I have never spoken to this person in person or telephonically, nor do I know where she even resides." Okay. Indeed, after multiple long-winded, threatening emails from this person, I was forced to block her email address from being able to harass me with further threats and messages. Any random member of the public is able to follow me on my public social media accounts. In fact, I am wholly unable to stop or prohibit bad actors from following me or watching my videos, even if I wanted to, which is why I've spent an extraordinary amount of time and effort on making hundreds, if not thousands, of disclaimers demanding that my followers do not contact anyone mentioned in the videos. My videos are public and free to access, and members of the international public can and do watch them. Random viewers of my channel who are strangers to me, such as Jamie Gilmour, are not my associates. I actually agree with Gilmour that the actions of the That Surprise Army group were and continue to be disconcerting, which is why I've repeatedly, specifically, and very publicly denounced any association with That Surprise Army and have actively asked followers not to join it or refer to themselves as an army at all. And then I have Cite right here because, like I said, this was just notes. I never ended up finishing it because the court didn't need it, but there are videos of me doing that. And this is the type of time that I would have to spend here. Like, let's say this ended up needing to be filed with court. I would have to go back through all my videos and find where I had said that. Can you imagine? Can you even imagine? For the record, it is my belief that Petitioner has conspired with a group of bad actors, including Gilmour and others who submitted declarations in this case to manufacture a false army in order to bolster her position in her numerous vexatious lawsuits against me for speaking about her, all of which had failed at least twice in two separate jurisdictions when this alleged army sprang up out of nowhere. Hello? The army didn't spring up out of nowhere until both of her cases were dismissed. Then, faced with her failure and still unwilling to just simply come out and tell the truth about the Amanda Rabb situation, she wanted to just come out and say what happened. She filed a third restraining order, but this time she was relying on things that this just now invented army that I had disclaimed and never been a member of was doing to try to get the restraining order against me instead of getting a restraining order against them. Since this person only began making donations to my legal fund, and it was September. I said July or August here, but it was September. The first one that I could find was September 14th. Her first legal fund donation was on September 14th, 2023, as far as I could find. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think it is. So since she only began making donations in September, during a time which I was legally not even allowed to speak about Dahlia, Dia, or Lima, I assume she started following me in July 2023. Again, what is this 202, right? The first line of the paragraph notably does not include an actual date. It says she's followed me since July 202, and we talked about that. I said she provides no evidence demonstrating when she began following me, so I can only assume. But if my assumption is true, Jamie Gilmour, Gilmour, did not start following me until after Lima's claims against me had failed in federal court. This assumption would explain why Jamie failed to state an actual date, because it exposes the truth. And again, this is just my notes, right? This is just me writing. I'm not even sure this could have ever even been filed in court, but it's just my writing. Okay, I'm just reading all my notes. That petitioner conspired with a group of co-conspirators to attempt to manufacture evidence to strengthen her second bite at the slap apple. This assumption is further supported by public evidence taken from Jamie Gilmour's public YouTube channel. After petitioners' complaints against me were dismissed by a federal court in New Jersey, Jamie Gilmour appeared for that November 29th live stream on her channel. Many of the declarants in this case, as self-described members of that surprise army, were present in the chat section of the live stream. During the stream, Gilmour answers a phone call on speaker, and the voice of the caller is Lima, thanking Gilmour for some public comments she made, which were apparently so sweet. This person began making donations during a time where I was not legally allowed to speak about any of the topics referenced in paragraph 3 of her declaration, including allegations or Dahlia Takali at all. So, if you will recall, Jamie had said in paragraph 3 of her declaration, naively believing her portrayal of herself as an attorney and investigative journalist exposing corruption and crimes allegedly committed by Lima, particularly in connection to the serious accusation of involving Lima's sister Dahlia, BJ manipulated not only me, but her entire audience by misrepresenting herself as an independent journalist on a mission. Well, I mean, girl, what? When this lady started following me, I wasn't allowed to speak about Dahlia. I wasn't allowed to speak about Lima. So that's kind of interesting that she found like an old video. It's very weird to me. And it's given setup. And then the next paragraph is where she talked about the fraudulent scheme, that I had a fraudulent scheme and she donated to the fraudulent scheme and all this stuff. Okay, so let's get back to the notes. I have not referred to myself as an attorney since I voluntarily surrendered my license to practice law, and Gilmour provides no evidence that I have. So she's like, oh, I believe she was an attorney because she represented herself as an attorney. And it's like, definitely have a video with like close to 100,000 views of me giving up the law license, saying I quit, and I've never called myself an attorney since then. I've referred to myself as a lawyer from time to time, which I am as a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania Law School. However, contrary to Gilmour's false assertions, I have not referred to myself as an attorney, nor have I purported to practice law since I actually stopped practicing in February 2021. There is nothing fraudulent about the GoFundMe campaigns. In 2022, I established a separate bank account, the Legal Fund bank account, to avoid exactly the type of allegation that Gilmour makes in her declaration. I am an honest person, and I have been transparent about my use of funds since the moment I began soliciting donations to defend myself against Lima's continued abusive litigation. The only funds that have ever been deposited into this account have been specifically designated as legal fund donations. Similarly, the only bank account into which any of the GoFundMe donations have gone is into the legal fund bank account. I have never deposited the GoFundMe funds into my personal checking or savings accounts, and I have not commingled the funds of the GoFundMe donations. 100% of the GoFundMe donations, including any that Gilmour may have donated, have gone directly into the legal fund bank account that I established for this purpose. Again, separate from my personal bank account. So I made a whole separate bank account, and that is where the GoFundMe donations go. It's not my personal. I ain't paying bills out of that same bank account. It's only thing ever gone into that bank account was legal fund donations. And the only location that the money has ever gone out of the bank account is to my attorneys. So bust. What's fraudulent? What is fraudulent about it? It's just a false assertion of criminality, which is defamation. I'm supposed to take pity on them. And then I say, I told followers as early as 2022 and repeated well into 2023 that if I were to be reimbursed my attorney's fees in this case for any reason, that I would place those reimbursed or awarded funds directly back into the legal fund bank account to finance any future litigation arising from others seeking to chill my speech. Jamie Gilmour, whoever TF that is, makes blanket statements about some alleged fraud, but fails to provide a single shred of evidence for this false allegation. Further, I told my followers in the very first solicitation for funds that I ever made that as someone who is from a low-income family and background, that it felt awkward and uncomfortable to even ask the public for help. And if they did not have the funds to donate, I implored them not to donate. To be abundantly clear, it is my belief that Jamie Gilmour is being dishonest that she donated $2,976 from her disability checks. Jamie Gilmour seems to have made an irresponsible financial decision and possibly even used disability funds for an improper purpose, and she attempts to blame me for it. To reiterate, I've never spoken to this person on the phone or in person. So the assertion that I somehow relayed information directly to her about my disability status is entirely false. I've never attempted to foster a connection with her for any reason, including to solicit funds from her. I would actually prefer if folks did not spend any of their state-provided funds on my legal fund, as I take personal ethical issue with it. If you need disability funds to survive, to make ends meet, you should not be donating them to me. I do need it, but I will be able to manage and get by. The Lord will take care. The Lord will provide. You don't need to go without just so I can have a legal fund donation. That's never what I've encouraged or advocated. But here this person is trying to make me look like some kind of monster stealing from disabled people, which I am, by the way, multiply disabled. So miss me with that. Then I addressed this whole we bonded over the fact that we both were on disability, rumor, myth, lie, false assertion. I have never once in my life been on disability, as Gilmour falsely states in her declaration. Much less for, quote, all my life. I am disabled and I do have disabilities. I'm a disability rights activist and advocate, but I have never been on disability. And Gilmour provides no evidence that I even said that. It's simply not true. I have not bonded with this person in any way. And I would prefer it if I never had to interact with her in the future for any reason. Her false assertions are delusional at best and intentional lies at worst. I never alleged crimes against Lima Jevremovic, and Gilmour provides no evidence that I did. I never solicited funds for justice of alleged crimes, and Gilmour provides no evidence that I did. My legal fund campaigns are straightforward and transparent. As I laid out above, 100% of the funds donated to GoFundMe legal campaigns have gone directly into the legal fund bank account, and 100% of the funds that have left the legal fund bank account have gone direct to my lawyers. I have never called petitioner a scam artist, and Gilmour provides no evidence that I did. I have never called Lima a murderer, and Gilmour provides no evidence that I did. I have never stated that petitioner Lima is involved in trafficking, and Gilmour provides no evidence that I did. But she's gone missing at least twice and up to 3 times over the past 3 years, as outlined in the filings related to Lima's first temporary restraining order attempt. To the extent that Jamie left aggressive comments on Lima's public social media page, her actions were not caused by me. In fact, I have repeatedly, to the point of exhaustion, demanded, asked, and even pleaded with people not to send any hate or comments of any kind to anyone mentioned in my videos, including Lima. If Jamie or anyone else left aggressive comments toward Lima, it was not because of me. To the extent Lima was harmed by any of these admitted aggressive comments, she should file separate restraining order petitions against the people who actually left the comments, instead of conspiring with them to manufacture a false narrative to support her already dismissed claims. Jamie Gilmour admits under penalty of perjury that she made aggressive, public, false claims against Lima for which she had no evidence. Yet Lima fails to seek injunctions on Jamie Gilmour's speech. Curious. Paragraph 7, I guess I said admitted. I do actively present myself as a passionate advocate for freedom of speech and justice for victims, rallying support for my legal defense against Lima because I am working to expose corruption and teach people about their rights. It is arduous and grueling work, and it does not come without consequence or sacrifice. I voluntarily resigned from a lucrative big law job to pursue this work freely, and the decision essentially resulted in imminent financial insecurity. But I have chosen to take it upon myself to be one of the few who dare to stand up to tyranny, corruption, human and the powerful financial interests that now seem to have our country under siege. The documents in the New Jersey case were publicly available before Gilmour ever made her first donation to my legal fund. To the extent that she was surprised by anything in those legal filings, she could have avoided the surprise by simply reading them before making a donation. I do not have 3 separate legal funds, and Gilmour provides no evidence that I do, not that it's material. I do have 2 legal funds. One I started in 2022 after Lima filed her now dismissed defamation claim in New Jersey federal court. The second fund I started in late 2023 after a California court temporarily restrained me from speaking about petitioner based on lies. The first legal fund had stated petitioner's name, which I was not legally allowed to now discuss publicly for 4 months or something. And at that time, I obviously needed legal funds more than ever because petitioner had now filed this brand new slap suit in a brand new jurisdiction very far from where I live. So I created a second legal fund where I didn't mention petitioner in order to continue collecting donations for my defense. The funds donated in the 2 GoFundMe campaigns do not account for even half of the attorney's fees and costs that have accumulated in my defense in these slap suits. Lawyer fees and costs alone are greater than $300,000 as of February 4th, 2024. And that does not count the fees and costs that I have personally accumulated in my defense, including travel to and from court appearances across the country, days off work to contend with this frivolous litigation, and any and every other thing that I've had to spend money, time, effort, energy, and work on. Gilmour provides no support for her assertion that I worked directly with third parties to circumvent the now dismissed as a slap suit temporary restraining order, which I did not do. If petitioner takes issue with videos that other people, including her former ward, Bam Margera, posted, then she should take it up with them. I have not ever instructed or directed anyone, including Bam or Down the Rabbit Hole News, to post anything on my behalf, including during the time that the now dismissed and stricken TRO was in effect. What did she say on paragraph 12? I was on that one. I was just like, I can't even approach the bench on this one. What was it? Oh, right. Oh my God. This is like reading through this again, like is getting my cortisol a little bit increased. Cause it's like, how dare they? How dare they? How dare they? So this is what she had said on paragraph 12. I have also witnessed respondent, that's me, enlist her followers in her campaign against petitioner. What does that mean? What does that even freaking mean? It's just so vague. I'm like, she provides no support for this vague blanket allegation, so I'm unable to respond. I have encouraged my followers to look into issues of public concern that are important to them. I have taught my followers about the FOIA process and educated them about various state statutes modeled after FOIA, which is my right to do and their right to know. Indeed, the statute is literally called the Freedom of Information Act. I have provided followers with samples of my requests and reports, and I have shown them how to access the proper forms and departments to make the requests. And I consider that work a public service that I'm very proud of. Gilmour is correct in that I encourage my followers to do their own research and not blindly follow anyone's lead, including mine. I'm very proud of this work, and I consider it a public service that makes our entire civilization better as a result. Gilmour provides absolutely no evidence that I shared private documents, and I deny that I ever did so. I've never directed my audience to engage in stalking of anybody or of anybody, but also including petitioner and her family, and I've actively demanded that my followers not do that. To the extent anyone has actually done this, I do not support it or condone it, and they should be dealt with by the appropriate authorities. I have not shared private sensitive information about anyone in this family, and neither petitioner nor Gilmour provide evidence that I did. I have shared public records, public records, publicly accessible before I ever shared it or discussed it, and most of that information remains publicly accessible independent of my coverage. I have not encouraged, directed, or instructed anyone, including my followers, to quote, overwhelm petitioner and her family's privacy, and Gilmour provides no evidence that I did. Like most content creators, I do often encourage viewers to share my content. If you made it this far in the video, like and share the video. It's not material to me whether petitioner and her family remove information that they themselves made public before my coverage. They themselves made the information public. I didn't. I reported on it because it was already public, just like that body camera footage that they had removed from the internet, but I'm going to be putting back up. I've never stalked or harassed this person, and she provides no support for her false allegation that I did. I do not condone or encourage this deranged behavior. If anyone did participate in such actions, Gilmour should seek a remedy from them. I've never posted this woman's address, nor do I even know which state she lives in. I had to scroll to the bottom of this declaration to even see where it was executed. Similarly, I do not know Brennan Bell Emerald Sealer, and I have no idea where she lives nor her address. If someone is posting her information online, she should take it up with that person. I am not sure why Gilmour thought the legal funds were to free Dahlia, because I have never stated that the legal funds would be used for that purpose. And Gilmour not only provides no support that I did, she doesn't even allege I stated such a purpose for these funds. So I don't know why she would say I'm donating the funds to free Dahlia when I never said that's what the funds were for. And I even put it in here. The proposition doesn't even make logical sense. How would legal fund donations from my legal defense against Lima Jevremovic result in somehow freeing Dahlia Takali from an S trial situation? Public hotline numbers for beep and abuse are meant to be used by the public. That's what they're for. I've never made an unsubstantiated call to emergency services, and I have never and would never direct others to do that. To the extent that Gilmour shockingly admits to having done this, she should be prosecuted accordingly under criminal statutes. She openly admitted under penalty of perjury that she swatted and doxed people, which are crimes. But I don't know if she did that. I wasn't there. I've never attempted to dispatch a large number of armed officers to a particular address, including petitioners nor her families, and I believe that doing so would be entirely unethical and illegal. I'm glad actually to know that the allegations of were reported to hotlines, and I hope that it will cause a cross-agency investigation into the allegations made to the Tulsa police officers on December 6, 2022 by Dahlia Takali when she said her mother was escorting her. I do not condone or encourage anyone to be harassed, including Gilmour. I've never directed or encouraged anyone, including my fan base, to harass Gilmour or anyone else for that matter. I have never stated that the legal funds would somehow free Dahlia from any abuse, since only the proper authorities can investigate her allegations and respond accordingly. It is unclear what action Gilmour was hoping that I would take against these strangers that were allegedly harassing her, but I do not condone that behavior. And if the allegations are true, she should seek protective orders against those who made the threats. What I said to Gilmour in the one single response to her unhinged and deranged threatening emails was true. And I really meant it. I don't know what she's talking about, and I hope she gets the support she needs. The conversation consists entirely of that exchange. I deny that I believe I have a blank check to say and do as I wish, regardless of the harm it may cause. And Gilmour provides no support for her false assertion that I hold this belief. In fact, Lima's multiple baseless slap suits have chilled my speech immensely, have caused me harm, have caused financial loss, anxiety, and distress. However, I believe it is my purpose and mission to preserve the founding ideals of this country, including exercising a robust right to the free exchange of opinions and ideas. So I attempt to assuage my well-founded fears of petitioners' unlawful retaliation against me for exercising my rights, even in the face of a clear, in my opinion, and this is just notes, this is just my opinion, I wasn't there, I don't know, but I mean, based on the information I'm showing y'all, I don't have any extra. It's my opinion that I'm going to continue doing this, even in the face of, in my opinion, a clear conspiracy to undermine my freedoms. Yep, conspiracy theorist right here. And now I feel like I might have uncovered some of the players, huh? As stated previously, and I want everybody to turn the volume up real quick. I really mean this. I refuse to allow Lima's multiple failed attempts to chill my speech to actually chill my speech. I refuse. I do not consent. I intend to carry on with my free speech as I did before Lima abused me with numerous failed attempts to chill it. Indeed, the drafters of California's anti-SLAPP statute intended for it to protect defendants from exactly this type of intimidation. Jamie Gilmour claimed she's concerned for her own safety and well-being, but she provides no reason for these unfounded fears. As I stated previously, I've never even seen this woman in person, nor have I had a telephone or in-person conversation with her. The entirety of our private communications consist of her threatening emails, which largely seem, in my opinion, to constitute literal extortion to return funds she willingly donated to my legal defense. Then I blocked her email address after my one-line response. I don't know where she lives, and I wish no harm to befall her. And I really mean that. I don't. I mean, I think she's deranged, and I'm mad and upset at her for lying about me under penalty of perjury in court. It put me in a bad spot, but even still, I'm not like, oh yeah, I hope she suffers. All I'm trying to do is clear my good name and show y'all that these people lie. To the extent she has credible fears for her safety, these fears are not my fault, nor are they my responsibility. She should take her concerns to the appropriate parties, including the appropriate authorities and perpetuators of the alleged conduct. I have publicly denounced any association with that surprise army, and I have never supported this group of people. Interestingly, two of the people who I know have been associated with that surprise army are declarants in this case, which further supports my theory that the group's inception and activity were, at least partially, directed by Lima in an attempt to bolster her meritless claims, thus defrauding this court. This is just my opinion. This is just some notes I took. I didn't even actually plan to read these like on the screen with y'all. It just felt like it would be easier. So that's what I went with. But I believe that is what happened, that they all worked together in order to bolster failed claims to try and make them stronger, which is, in my opinion, innocent till proven guilty, fraudulent, in my opinion. And the only reason I'm saying that here is because this lady in her declaration said that I was perpetuating fraudulent schemes. So what's really going on? Finally, Gilmour's unfounded and unsupported beliefs are not grounds to strip me of my rights as protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. So that's the end of Jamie Gilmour, like the notes that I had there. I wonder if I should go and try to even find that email. I do want to find, okay. So I'm so sorry about the length of this video, but I'm just gonna keep going with it. And she told me that I was free to use any of this stuff that I wanted to, but guess what else? She posted a video on the same day that I just posted my video. Remember that video I just posted? The one that this is kind of like a part 2 to, and we're gonna start a whole series, I guess. The lawsuit, mayhem, gang stalking fiasco by psychopathic clowns of 2023 and 2024. Jamie posted a video trying to, I guess, defend herself on her channel just the other day. Now, I think this video might have got deleted already, but girl, I just watched it last night. So let me pull that up. Welcome into my world. You're playing my game. Thought that you could come up and they're fitting off of my knee. Talking out the side of your neck like you're insane. Cortisol levels to the roof. Inflame. Kids these days so shameless. Selling out real friends for a paycheck. Mama didn't teach them no home training. Wanna be me so bad, but they failing. Step to the plate though. I'll take a challenger. I ain't scared of no low life scavenger. I should warn you though, if you haven't heard, I ain't no Colleen ukulele ballager. Shots been fired. Wanna tell that? Say it to my face though. Now behind my back. Won't be long till you share it in the group chat. And when I call you up, you're gonna backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth.